Is this team for real, Craig? Are you buying Arsenal right now?
No.
Why not?
I saw some reports at the weekend, some journalists who I think support Arsenal, wondering why no pundits, well, pundits in general, don't have them in the title race. So if you're saying to me, am I having Arsenal as potential title challengers this year? The answer would be no. Am I having it that Unai Emery is getting his feet in there and he's working it out and things are a little better for them at the moment? Then clearly 9 straight wins would tell you yes. But I don't think all those games tell you the full story of the Arsenal games, because a lot of those games have given up a hell of a lot of chances. The other side of the coin is, you know, when Lacazette and Aubameyang are pair up, whether it's off the bench or whatever, they're working well together. Now that Torreira's playing the team, Xhaka looks a little bit better. He's got a 4-2-3-1. It's a little bit flexible. At least he has a plan. But I don't... do you think the title...
No, don't put that on me. I don't want any piece of that.
People were saying, well, you know, why 9 straight wins, why not? But no, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
You got to look at the competition.
How far they were off the pace last year, but it was a lot of points. You don't just make that up. However, this is going probably better than expected for Unai Emery, and I think that's to be applauded, and he needs to be given, you know, plenty of time, a couple of years, maybe more, to get this long-term problem that they've had from Arsene Wenger, to get it fixed. But they're not in the title race because they've won 9 straight games. You wouldn't. If they played Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City in a round-robin tournament over the next few weeks, they wouldn't win many games.
When you see the Aaron Ramsey goal yesterday with the back heel and the build-up and the movement with the ball and without the ball, and how progressive and attack-minded Arsenal looked, and creativity and all sorts of different things that you want to highlight from this match against Fulham, but that goal in particular, you're like, well, this is nice. This is nice. The problem is that you want to see that same sort of thing happen against the teams that Craig just mentioned. Because until then, it would only be just nice results against teams that you should be able to beat. Now, the criticism of Arsenal in years past has been that against some of these teams, they have struggled and they have dropped points. Well, now they're not struggling. Now they're not dropping points. The next step of that evolution is going to be, can you get those results against the big boys?
Have you ever seen a Premier League manager behave like this?
I can't remember it, no. I mean, the point Craig makes is a good one. There's no way Ed Woodward is going to be leaving. But where is the leadership from the top of the club? That is another thing. That's why Manchester United are in this mess. And then I don't know at what point Jose Mourinho decided he would start to throw his players in public under the bus, because it seems he's had war of words with half the squad now, and you get the feeling, and I've heard this from 1 or 2 people who have got good contacts at Manchester United, who've been part of the team in the past, in fact, who will say half those players would hold a party if Jose Mourinho left.
Ian, a lot of the talk now is what Jose Mourinho might want in the January transfer window. How likely is it that he even gets to that to make any of those moves?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Whether the board give more money to Jose Mourinho to make the spending, because if they do that and make that commitment, they're his players and the way he wants to shape that team. So a big decision is going to have to be made in the next couple of months at Manchester United. And, well, watch this space to see what happens maybe quite soon.
Chelsea 3-0 winners away at Southampton over the weekend. Eden Hazard scored. What's new? Eden Hazard also spoke about wanting to go to Real Madrid. What's new? Here's the comments. Real Madrid is the best club in the world. I don't want to lie. It is my dream since I was a kid. We will see. I don't want to talk about this every day. I don't have time, but we will talk about my future soon. Craig, he keeps talking about Real Madrid over and over and over again. Is that a problem?
No. What if Real Madrid potentially want you? Potentially. Then
well, as a Chelsea player, is it a problem?
Well, I think it's. I read back a little bit on the quotes, and what we can't deny, he's playing great at the moment, and he is an excellent player. I read back a little bit, and he said he wanted to be respectful to Chelsea, and the fact that he's not saying to them, yes, he's going to sign a contract, because in his words, he said, some mornings I wake up and I want to go, and some mornings I wake up and I think I'm staying. So I really think I really do believe he's struggling a little bit with it in terms of, as he said, Chelsea have been very good to him and he's had a lot of success there. But at his age, I think, what, 27 or 28, if he does sign a new contract at Chelsea, the Real Madrid stroke Barca stroke biggest clubs in the world have gone. That's gone. So I think it is tearing at him. And I think if it's tearing at him that much, I think the answer probably is, if they want him, he's probably going to go.
I can also tell you that if you're Real Madrid and you've gone 4 games without scoring a goal, and you've had difficulties creating chances, and you see Hazard doing what he's doing right now, week in and week out, productivity not only with goals, but productivity with creating opportunities for others, then clearly you're Real Madrid. You go, man, of the guys out there, this is one that we can certainly go after and should go after.
Real Madrid seem to need him. Let's bring in Sid Lowe. Sid, what's the likelihood that this could actually happen? Hazard to Real Madrid.
Well, I think one of the key things that Hazard says there is that he doesn't want to cause problems for Chelsea, and he doesn't want to make this difficult for anyone or force a move out. And actually, there was a bit of a dig at Thibaut Courtois in what he said. He said, this won't be like Courtois. In other words, I'm not going to dig my heels and I'm not going to make this hard. And I think what that does, more than anything else, is it helps to tell you why this hasn't happened previously. Because Hazard hasn't been prepared to force the issue. He hasn't been prepared to push for this, and nor have Real Madrid been prepared to effectively fight to bring him in. Now, of course, that situation changes now, because Hazard is going into a situation in which he's coming towards the end of his contract. His price will necessarily come down, unless, of course, he ends up renewing with Chelsea. And so Real Madrid will be looking at this and thinking, this is a great player. It's also a great player who we know wants to come to us, and he's being very public about that. So it's not just a case of him saying, I want to go to Spain or I want to play for a big club. It's, I want to go for Real Madrid. And we know that his price is going to be relatively cheap. So I think in those circumstances, Real Madrid would, without doubt, be interested. The difficulty, of course, is that Real Madrid, their main target remains and will continue to remain until such a time as they know for sure it can't happen, to sign Neymar. And then, of course, you have to ask whether there's the money for both and whether there's a place in the team for both as well.
Great to have you with us here for Extra Time. Craig, Ale, Seb. We've also got Ian Dark with us. And Ian, I'm going to start with you on the first question. It comes from Ben on Twitter. He wants to know, who's the best of the rest in the Premier League? So let's take the top 6 out. Who's the best of everybody else?
I'm going to say Bournemouth at the moment. They've got double the number of points they had at this stage last year, and it always baffles me why Eddie Howe is not in the running when the big jobs come up. What a job he has done at Bournemouth with a lot of players who were lower division players until he got hold of them and converted them into players who could play in the Premier League.
Yes, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be Man United manager or whoever. What?
Bigger than Bournemouth.
You said that.
Oh, is he ready for something bigger?
Because
than Bournemouth?
we have lots of people probably are going to be watching this in the Bournemouth area.
Sorry.
Of South England. Well, I think eventually he'll. I mean, he has flown in this before. He went to Burnley.
And came right back, right?
And came back. He was. I don't know if he was wanted to get back to the South Coast for family reasons or whatever. I think it may have been something like that. So he's been out before. I think it's probably only a matter of time before he goes again. I just don't know where.
They're quite entertaining. I mean, they're not just getting results. They're quite fun to watch.
Look, I have a difficult time with this team because, in general, I just have a difficult time saying Bournemouth.
Yeah.
It's just a handful for me. They did not teach me this in ESL class. It's English as a second language. It is difficult for me to say it.
How does Bournemouth sound in a Venezuelan accent?
Well, I don't know, but I tried Bournemouth and it just doesn't come out quite well.
There's lots of old people in Bournemouth, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Not so much these days, Craig. No, it's a student town now. It's a great place, Bournemouth.
Up the cherries. Come on. Ian, how about
this?
this?
I'm being serious.
Yeah. Was it like a retirement area?
Yes.
It was.
It was a big retirement area.
Are you saying that's where Ian lives?
He's thinking about it.
Okay. What are you trying to say, Ali?
I'm sorry.
What? I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
The term is active adult community.
Oh,
okay. All right. How about
listen, Ian, you know, a place down there would suit him. I mean, you know, get a bit of help down there because you're talking about a man who, when he came over to Bristol to do a game here, one of the times he went into the commentary booth and came out over an hour and a half later and had left his car running.
Yep. Yep.
No.
I think that's when I needed some help from Age Concern. You're right.
He left the car running.
He's not lying, by the way.
That's brilliant. All right, Ian, what do you think about this? How long does Rafa Benitez remain at Newcastle?
Ooh, who knows really? Because that's another club that's been a bit of a train wreck, really. So I don't know, but I would have thought his patience will run out unless Mike Ashley comes up with more money soon.
Crazy how the Klopp-Pep game gave us 0 goals, and the Mourinho-Rafa game gave us 5. Yeah. How about this? I'll come to you on this one, Craig. If you were to Zidane, sorry, would you choose a Zinedine, would you choose a coaching role at Manchester United or Bayern Munich or a director role at Juventus?
Would I choose a coaching role at either United or Bayern, or the director role at Juventus? Depends. Well, he's got a big affiliation with Juventus, but I would say probably Bayern.
Bayern better than Manchester United?
Well, he's going to dig himself into one huge hole at Man United, so if he wants to dig in for the long term and try and rebuild the team and go up against 2 better teams, then take United. But if he wants a good club with good players that he could maybe work a bit easier, then probably Bayern.
I would take the director role at Juventus.
Yeah. You just don't want to be a coach.
Well, no, you're jumping into 2 situations that are complicated. Manchester United we already know about, but Bayern Munich, he would have to handle the transition of these players that are getting older, and there doesn't seem to be young talent coming through for Bayern Munich. And so, given that those are my options, I would say, how about I just take the director role and I sit in this office and I say, you come, you go, we're all fine, and we're going to win, by the way, and we're going to keep on winning.
Ian, who should win the FIFA Ballon d'Or? Amit wants to know. And is there anyone missing from the top 30 list?
Oh, well, I haven't looked through all those.
Yeah, don't worry about the list.
Do we need 30 on the list? I mean, I'd go along with Luka Modric.
You guys okay with that choice?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I saw it. Did it drop today?
Yes.
I know people are going to now tweet us or me or whatever and say, probably tweet Ian actually, and say, oh, you guys, it's your job. You should. No, it's not. I don't care. To be honest with you, I don't know who's on the 30. I don't care who's on the 30.
Forget the 30. You don't mind Luka Modric as the Ballon d'Or winner, do you? Safe pick.
I haven't thought about it.
Have you thought about it, Alex?
No, but I don't mind him. I can answer that question. Yeah. I don't mind him as the pick. I'm all right.
I think people sit waiting on that Ballon d'Or list dropping.
There's somebody.
Go through it with a fine tooth comb.
Well, there's 30 names that go into this list.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, there can't possibly be 30 guys worthy of that honor.
I mean, you should. I mean, at most, even if you had 10 names, that's still a lot.
Stretching.
Yeah. That's still stretching.
I mean, 30. Like, how many candidates are there really? Like,
I mean,
3 or 4?
Yeah, we just try to please everybody here.
Yeah. All right, last question. Last question. Who's more likely to get the sack, Lopetegui or Niko Kovac? Ale, start with you.
Lopetegui. And the reason being is that Real Madrid doesn't wait for anybody. And Julen Lopetegui, by the way, let's not forget that he got off the plane for the World Cup and said, you know what, guys, this was great. I'm going to go Real Madrid because that's my dream job, right? And now things are not going so well. And so, yes, I think the leash is shorter at Real Madrid than it is at just about any other club in the world.
Craig, you agree?
Yeah. I don't know if he wanted to sell Ronaldo or not. I don't know what the mechanics were, but...
Well, it sounds like Ronaldo wanted to go.
Yeah, so he gets dumped from the Spain job, as Ali said, because he says, I'm off anyway, lads, so I'm just going to be here for a couple of weeks, see how we're doing, and I'm off. Then Ronaldo leaves. There's a big stir with that. Now he can't win a game or score a goal. Not going very well for him, is it?
400-plus minutes.
The good news is Florentino Perez is one of the most patient.
Yes, yeah. Ian, what do you make of the question there? Lopetegui or Kovac?
Well, I think the guys have got that right. I mean, Real Madrid are hardly known for their patience. They don't tolerate failure for long. So I think Lopetegui's in some difficulty.
You know, I saw them pre-season when they were over here in the US. I know it's pre-season. And so not everybody's up to speed, but they look really, particularly the front guys, Bale and Benzema, and I know Isco's been out for a bit, Asensio, they all look really sharp. And I thought Benzema looked as if he'd lost a bit of weight, and he was working hard and running the channels, and I'm actually surprised it's been as difficult as it has been, which is maybe something Florentino Perez is thinking as well. So he might be thinking, what she probably is, well, these guys are still pretty good. Maybe I'm just going to have to look at the manager and say, well, I've made a mess of this. This guy can't handle it. I don't know. Anyway, your team won yesterday. When I left, you were despair. When I came in here yesterday and then I left to go home for Sunday dinner, you were despair because DC were losing.
We're losing to Chicago.
In fact, there was a big bang on the desk.
Yeah,
Was that after they took away Rooney's first goal on VAR?
I don't know. I just heard
it was after the Chicago goal.
I just heard the desk getting slammed and I thought, he's an angry man. I'm going to have to go home now.
Oh, yeah, so intimidating.
And then he was in despair because Wayne Rooney scored.
Oh, you're lying. You were I was celebrating the Rooney goal.
So he scored 2 goals, right? And you're like, you think that he would be happy, but he's so conflicted. He's so conflicted about this. It's like, can I support DC United and hate Wayne Rooney at the same time?
No, I love Wayne.
Do you know when Wayne Rooney was scoring all these goals in his career? Did you see? Was you aware, or was you watching some game with Cruz Azul and
Yep,
Tijuana?
I was probably watching Cruz Azul, Rayados, maybe some Club America. You know,
so had you heard of Wayne Rooney when he came here?
You know, he played for Manchester United, yeah.
Yeah, well,
but
might not be the only one.
No, but it's.
But you said that he doesn't.
Why were you against
He doesn't
him?
relate. Okay, he doesn't relate to the demographic of DC. Wait a minute. Did you not say that? Am I making that up?
I did say
that he doesn't relate to the demographic.
I think I said for me as a DC United fan, he did not particularly excite me. Yeah.
Okay. So
a guy who scores goals.
Yeah.
So every time
Is
he
there
scores,
a clause in the contract about you have to relate to the demographic?
Apparently there needs to be.
well, he's okay scoring goals away from home, but when he scores goals at home, it has to be chalked back off because it doesn't suit the demographic.
Yeah.
There's so much nuance to this discussion, which is just lost in extra time. I would simply ask.
It's not. It's pretty black and white. You didn't want Wayne Rooney because it didn't fit the demographic in DC, i.e., putting the ball in the back. Oh, by the way, they couldn't win a game before Wayne Rooney
They were dead. They were dead. Left for dead. And now, in prime position to make the playoffs.
What do you want from me?
Well, you know, an apology.
Yeah. A public apology.
Right, camera 4. Wayne Edward Rooney, I'm sorry.
Oh, what
I was.
You gotta mean it, though.
I tell you what.
What do you mean?
You've just embarrassed yourself now apologising.
I'll ask you the question, Craig. You know, how many times have they sold out a game while Wayne Rooney?
Here we go. So, hey,
he's excited the fans so much. You know, I was so wrong about him exciting the fans. How many sellouts have there been?
I thought there was an
official
apology
apology in front of the White House is required, I think.
Okay,
in front of the White House.
I live a couple blocks from there.
To be honest,
I'll head right down there and I'll do a full mea culpa. I'll buy a Wayne Rooney DC United shirt.
Oh, you haven't yet?
You're asking me. How many? You're asking me. I keep leaning forward and I get my big nose in the shot.
It's
not difficult.
Paul Mariner,
Exactly. Robert, your camera. And you're asking me how many times an MLS game's been sold out. Have you not read the script yet?
I'm just. Well, I can fill the answer in for you. No, none.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Right.
All right. Well, that'll do it for
everyone. Makes mistakes.
Everyone. Yeah. No one's perfect. No one's perfect.
Well,
yeah, not Wayne Rooney apparently.
I think that was. Yeah.
That'd be a good interview.
It would be a good interview. We should set that up.
Yeah.
Go down there and
grovel. And grovel. Grovel, apologize.
Apparently they heard about our little segment that we did here.
And they denied you the interview?
It made its way back. No, his agent was...
they respectfully declined?
No. I don't think Rooney didn't want to do the. I think there's some other people that maybe didn't want me to do the interview. But that's a story for another time and another day. I'm going to get myself in trouble. We will be back tomorrow. Surely I'll be eating.
You will?
Wayne Rooney crow pie. Don't miss a single episode. I hate this job.
Some big news for San Jose Earthquakes fans. Matias Almeida, the former Chivas manager, has been announced as the head coach. Seb, for 2019, this is big news for them. What's your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, total shock. A total shock. I have to say, and with all due respect to San Jose, I think they way outkicked their coverage here. Let's talk about who Matias Almeida is. This is a guy who took the biggest club in Mexico, Chivas, a team that hadn't won a league title in a decade, and he returned them to prominence. He won the league, he won 2 cups, and he won CONCACAF Champions League. I thought when he was out of Chivas, there was one obvious destination: the manager of the Mexican national team. For what I believe are internal reasons within the federation, he never really seemed to get momentum for that job. He was linked to the Argentine job. He was linked to the Costa Rica job. I thought maybe international football would be where he'd end up. He was also linked to a job in Qatar. Apparently there was an agreement in place that would allow him to leave should a national team come calling. But at the last minute, he backed out of that. He's played in Italy, in Spain, potentially could have followed into a club there. I never saw him coming to MLS, and far less with a club the stature of San Jose. So for me, this is a real shock move and truly a coup for the Quakes.
We have plenty of reasons as to why he fits elsewhere. What are some of the compelling reasons as to why he might just fit at San Jose?
Again, let's look at his track record at Chivas. People think of Chivas as this big club, and for a long time it was, and it was a club with, if not unlimited, big resources. In recent years, Chivas has come on hard times financially, so there are budget limitations, and on top of that, there's talent pool limitations. At Chivas, you can only use Mexican players, so you have a limited talent pool. That's the situation he's going to be going to in San Jose. I believe in payroll they were 18th of 23 in MLS this season. Very serious limitations. And then I think there's another obvious, less on-field reason why this is a great fit. Huge Mexican-American community in and around San Jose. Obviously, he's Argentine, but for a Mexican fan or a Mexican-American fan, Chivas is a really big deal. And he is the face of the Chivas turnaround in the last 2-3 years. So he's a big name to the Mexican-American soccer-following population. I think that could be a big draw and really key for San Jose as they look to, as all MLS teams always are, expand their fan base.
With his pedigree, you would imagine he'd have a big thing to say, a big improvement could be made inside that dressing room with the existing staff. Is it a statement of intent from the organisation itself?
Boy, I think so. I think when you look at MLS and the way the league restricts spending, it's seeking parity. One place where the league does not restrict spending and says owners, hey, if you want to spend in this area, have at it, is your manager. And we saw Atlanta United kind of blow up the script and going after Tata Martino and saying, oh, we're not going to look to pay our managers a couple $100,000. We want to pay our managers in the millions range. I think maybe not quite Tata money, but closer to that is what we're going to end up finding out that Matias Almeida is making. So for San Jose to say, okay, maybe we can't outspend people in terms of our players, but in managers we can, I think that's very much a statement of at least more ambition than we've seen in the past from San Jose.
Well, certainly things looking up, it would appear, casting some mid-season, post-season optimism around San Jose with the arrival of Matias Almeida next season.